Hi, everybody, and welcome to Simply Cards by Kathi. I'm Kathi Ondas, and today is our monthly card layout designs. This is volume number 7, and we're going to be doing the card layouts for 19 through 21. So this is month 7. I can't believe that. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I'm happy you found me. I hope you like what you see. And if you're with me live or you catch me on the replay, thank you so much for taking time out of your day. I love being here with you. I want to explain, if you're new, just how we do this. What I do is show you how to make a template. And then I will make one card using that template. And then I show you 2 more cards. Now, this month, I've chosen 3 different bundles like I usually do. So I'm going to show you those so that you know what I'm using. And then on Saturday, these will be available on my website. So let me flip this down, and we got a lot to do, so let's get started. Okay, I'm going to show you the bundles that we're using. And I've tried to stick with just those. And I actually forgot to grab the paper, but you'll see the paper that I'm using. So I am using the Peekaboo Forest bundle. This will be 1 card made in each of the layout designs. Really cute little critters, dies that match and that you can cut out, and just a fun, really fun bundle. I'm using Pretty Florals. Now, this is a sneak peek because Pretty Florals is in our new catalog, the 2025-2026. I absolutely love this bundle. The papers are absolutely gorgeous. And I can't wait to show you these to you. If you look at the dies, you have 15 dies with this, and this is one of the ones I cut out. So they cut out the stamps, but you also have a lot of detailed dies that make some beautiful cut flowers. Hi, Sherry. Thank you for joining me. I'm glad you're relaxing. Sit back and just have fun. All right, and one of my very favorite, this was Impressions Abloom. This was actually a bundle I chose. I was supposed to go to on stage, and I didn't get to go because we had a death in the family at the time. But this was sent to me by my good friends who did go, and this is probably one of my favorite bundles of all time. I absolutely love it. So those are the 3 bundles that we're going to be using. Now, I'm also using a new embossing folder called Pressed Flowers. And it's hard to see when I take it out, but it's just beautiful impressed design. Love it. And then I'm using Everyday Arches and Stylish Shapes. So let's go ahead and we're going to get started. So our first layout. Now, I'm using just a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. This stands for my card base. I use these, or actually make these, with just very neutral colors. I tend to use grays, blacks, and white. That allows me to just kind of have a better idea when I'm looking at the template. I'm not influenced by the colors of the template. So we have our card base. The next layer is 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. And this is going to go on our card base. But before I do that, I have a layer number 2 that I want to show you. It's kind of different how to attach. So with this one, this is 3 1/8 by 4 1/4. And I'm going to line this up point to point at the bottom. Take this up right up to the top. The black point meets the top of that dark gray. And I want to make sure that they are meeting at both edges. And I'm going to glue this down. So let me go ahead and get this going. And I do need that corner, don't I? So let's go ahead. And I know this looks complicated, but it really isn't. So we're just going to go up to here where the point meets down in the left-hand corner and the point meets up at the top. Okay, now, oh, these pesky little things, they're all over. One was on the dog's nose today. So now we're going to cut this off, and I'm just going to use scissors. You can use your trimmer if you want to, and just cutting this off so that the edge. So there's your piece. That's layer number 2. Okay, now we can adhere this to our card base. Hi, Diane and Victoria and Linda. Thanks for joining. So we're going to adhere this. Now remember, this is 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. So it's going to look a little bit different, little bit bigger borders. And here I am, knocking it right off the card base. There we go. Okay, next is our focal point. So for my focal point, I have a circle. Now, I'm showing you a circle. I believe my cards have circles. You could use a square. You can use one of the countryside corners dies. But I'm saying a 2 to about 2.5 inch circle. And we're going to put this right down here. And add this right to there. And then I have a sentiment here somewhere that probably fell in with all of these. And hopefully it'll show up. And we'll add it. So there's a strip here about 1/2 inch by 3 inches, or whatever size you need for your sentiment, and you'll attach that here. So let's put together the first card. All right. I am using some of the new colors. Hi, Joan. Thanks for coming in. This is Secret Sea. It is one of my favorites in the new in colors coming out. It looks like black, but it's really a dark, dark blue. It's not, it's a little deeper than navy, but not quite as dark. And I just love it. So I have Secret Sea. The next one, I forgot the name of it, but as it comes to me, I'll tell you. This is one of the other in colors. This is one that will not have a stamp pad, or doesn't right now, because the color Stampin' Up! Wasn't satisfied with the color. So they are working to perfect the color for this new in color. And it escapes me. But this is embossed with that embossing folder I showed you. I think it's Pretty Petals. Pretty Petals. And we're going to put this right on here. Okay, now, one of the things when you're making your cards is you use these and look at for other ways to use them. So I'm going to show you 2 cards that I used it just like this. But for this one, we're going to flip it around. So what you can do is turn it and take a look at it as to how else you want to use it. So what I'm going to do is flip. Mine's going to come in a little bit different. And I am going to take this up like this. And I shouldn't have glued that down yet, shouldn't I? Let's see if I can get that up. I can. Too much talking and not so much paying attention, but we'll get it. Because I want to show you how to use these in other ways. And this is gonna kind of come, all right. So I'm gonna take this like this. I'm gonna turn it, putting my corners together here, and then bringing this up just like this. So this way, I'm going to be cutting off a piece on top and along the side. So let's go ahead and adhere that, because this is a different way to use this template. And then I'll show you the two that, and those meet the top and the bottom. So bottom corner, top edge. Now I do have scissors that I use only for adhesives or glue. And believe it or not, these scissors are Stampin' Up. These were their original snips that I bought, oh gosh, back in the 90s. And I can't believe that I still have them. So now we're ready to glue this back on. Looks messy on the back, but it'll look fine on the front. So let's go ahead and adhere this. Just like that, and give it a good press. So you can see that I have a little bit different angle, and I have it going upward. And now I have my focal point. Now for this, I did not add a sentiment strip. I actually stamped my sentiment on the circle, and we're simply going to add this here. And let's do it with some dimensionals. That makes more sense, doesn't it? Let's add some of these. Now, you could add some ribbon to this. I will definitely go back and add some bling. And you have a card ready to go. And then I have the inside to show you. Hi, Renee. Thanks for joining. I haven't seen you in a while. It's nice to have you here. Hi, Joan. Thank you for joining in. Okay, let's try this right in here. And you can put it wherever you want it. Now, some of the designs the pearls, I'm going to use the new In Color flat pearls to add to this. And I am going to use the Secret Sea. So I'm just going to add a couple here. And then I have two cards to show you. Let's add one up here. And let's come down with a small one right about here. Okay, so here is our first card, and using just kind of flipping that template around, and I flipped it even a different way. Now here's the inside of our card. I simply used a piece of cardstock, a strip of cardstock, and a strip of designer series paper. For my sentiments, I have used all different sets. I've used from the stamp sets I'm using, but two of the stamp sets don't have any sentiments right with them. So I've pulled from a lot of places. I will put those in the tutorial for you. However, use what you have. That's the whole purpose of these templates, is to give you ideas for inspiration to use what you have. So here's our template. Here's card number 1. So this one, I would use the pretty, what did I use? The Impressions Abloom. This one is, and this one is Pretty Florals. So, but look at the difference. And then this one is the Peekaboo Forest with the little bear. So lots of different ways. On this one, I used a piece of cardstock and embossed it with the Birchwood 3D embossing folder. And here I use designer series paper. So every one of these layers can be whatever it is you want it to be and what you want to use. Now, I have my measurements on a back of a Post-it note, and I just apply them here. And that way I have them when I want to use my template or my layout design, that I have everything right at hand. And I do have a measurement sheet for you to cut up and actually be able to put your on the back of your templates. So let's go to card layout 20. So for this one, I am using the everyday arches. However, this one can be any shape you want it to be. So we're starting off again with the card base. This is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And the next layer is 4 by 5 1/4. So let's just go ahead and we're going to add this to our card base. Now, these layouts are my gift to my customers the month of April. So you can layer these and have it stay just like it is. Or you can snip into this. Let me show you that. And just leave just a little bit of an edge. So you have a little bit of that contrasting border. And this can go down here. If you have a shorter sentiment, it can go across the bottom. I'm going to show you a couple different ways that I use this on the cards. So I'm going to put this one right here, and it's going to run 4 inches across the bottom. All right, and then my card measurements, or my design measurements, I'm just going to go ahead and add this. Now let's make a card with this one. So with this one, I am using, we're going to make a card using the Impressions Abloom. I had to stop and look at that. So I am going to pull out our pieces here. And I am using Strawberry Slush, one of my very favorite colors, along with Secret Sea. Now, all of your card bases can either be 5 1/2 by 8 1/2, scored at 4 1/4, or 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2. Now, for our first layer, which is layer number 1, this is 4 by 5 1/4. And this is embossed with that, oh my goodness, the, what? Throwing things around. The pressed flowers, that's what it is, embossing folder. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to put this on, and I'm pretty much going to make this card using the template or layout, design layout, just like it is. So let's put this in here and scoot that over just a little bit. Okay, now Our second layer, I chose a piece of designer series paper, and really beautiful paper. And we are going to adhere this right over here. So this card I'm making just as it is on the template, but then I have a couple to show you that are a little bit different. Our focal point, I did use one of the arches from the Everyday Arches. I stamped one of the flowers from the Impressions of Bloom and did 2 die cuts. And I just went ahead and I stamped thanks on that. And we're going to pop this up with dimensionals here. But then I also have a second greeting to add to this. These are so much fun. And, you know, I use mine all the time. I am constantly kind of pulling out my templates and looking. I have over 40 of them, and looking at what I want to use when I'm, you know, making a card. So let's pop this on here. And that looks good. Now I have a second greeting to add here that says thanks so very much. And this could go anywhere you want. This could go right underneath here. I'm going to send mine off to the bottom and to the side a little bit. And then we will pretty much be done with this card. All right, let's add this. All right. And I have 2 more to show you. I'm going to take this right up to the bottom edge and over to the side a little bit. Now, let me take a look here. I'm going to bring in one that I turned it around, and I just ran my side, that layer 2 that's on the side. I ran it here along the side. I did this landscape, and then put in my focal point and added actually a sentiment from one of the new ephemera packs coming out. That's Greetings for All, Mix and Match. So, and these flowers are from the, I have to look and see because these are all new to me too. So I'm still learning them. These are from the Pretty Florals. So, and then on the inside here, so this is using that Secret C. Now, the third one is a little bit over the top. This one I made using this template for my granddaughter's birthday tomorrow, and it's using the little critters. I took this banner, and this die set actually has a tree cut out, but I put the little hole in here, and I made one of each of the little critters, and I actually stamped them on smoky slate and crumb cake, and then just colored bits and portions of them. And their little paws kind of fall over, and I use them for my card for her. So this is just another way. So you have 2 really easy ones. This one's a little bit stepped up with all the die cuts, and this one even probably more so for avid stamper. But many different ways you can use these. Oh, thank you, Denise and Kim. Thanks, Victoria. I'm glad you're enjoying them. Okay, are you ready for 21? All right, let's do this one. So this one, again, we're starting off with 4 by 5 1/4. And our second layer is, this is 4¼ by 5½. Sorry, that's the card base. The next layer is 4 by 5¼ So we're going to go ahead and add this to our card base. All right, let's slide that up just a little bit. That looks pretty good. Okay, next we have 3 strips. These are 1/4 inch by 5, they should be 5¼ These look a little long. Let me grab my trimmer here and put them in here, because since I glued that on, I can't really trim them off. Yeah, I cut these at 5½. So let's just come through here. And I'll snip that off. Now these are going to go on the left side of the card. But then once you have them on there, I'll show you with some of the cards, I did some different ways to switch it up. So these are going to go right along here. And that needs trimmed down even more. So before I push it down, I'm just going to come in here and snip and straighten it out. Let's add another one. So there's 3 of these. And we're going to do the same. And I'm just going to space them out just evenly and snip that off here before we push that down. I didn't cut those very even, did I? Oh, well. And this one I'm going to trim just a little bit too. All right. So there's 2. And let's go with number 3. So this is an easy design layout, but I think all of them are pretty versatile. And you're able to change them up and use them. Let's go ahead with trimming this. All right. They're not the most even, but you'll get the idea. Next, I have a layer that's 1 3/4 by 4. And this is going to go right here across the bottom. Now I'm gluing it down. You can glue it. You can pop it up with dimensionals. And this is going to go down in the lower third of your card base. Another circle, anywhere from 2 to 2½ inches. You can use dies like stylish shapes. There's new dies that are kind of wonky looking. I forget the name of them. And then I have just a strip for a sentiment that I'm going to kind of put here across the bottom. So there we go. And then my measurements for layout 21 is going to go on the back. So let's make this card. All right, so here's our design layout. And I am using the critters, the, what are they called? Peekaboo Forest. And my designer series, I'm using 1 die cut from the Delightful Wishes dies. So we're going to start off. This one is a 4¼ by 11, scored at 5½. All right. Our next, this is our inside. Our next piece is 4 by 5¼ This is embossed with that birch wood embossing folder. And we're just going to go ahead and add this. I love this design, or this embossing. Let's add that here. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and put on our strips. And then I'm going to show you how these little critters work. So these I'm going to glue down the green side up. Okay. And these are just going to go down like that and just slide it down a little bit. Whoops, it's sure sliding. Let's here, right here. And that's just a little too long. Okay, let's add another one. And I'm going to trim this one. And then we're going to add our last one. Now, the next piece that I want to add is that piece across the bottom here. And I chose to use Designer Series paper for that. So I want to give you a tip on that. So Designer Series paper, I always find it's harder for me to pop it up because I feel like it doesn't have the sturdiness that it needs. So I cut the piece that I had, and then I cut a piece of white and I mounted it on that. And I want to pop this up. So I'm going to go ahead and use some dimensionals just to give this a little bit more depth. So I'm going to add one on each corner, and I'm getting to the bottom of these. Now, I don't know about you, but I always use my edges because I don't like to waste anything, which is probably why I have so many scraps of paper, but I really do use them. And one day I'll have to show you how I store my scraps. So I'm just going to add some here. All right, now let's take these off and we're going to mount this. So if you've used any of the templates before or card design layouts, let me know. I'd love to know your thoughts on using them, no matter who's you're using or what you're using. I think they're just really easy ways to give you some inspiration for some ideas, especially when you kind of hit a slump and you're not sure what to do. So this is going to go right across here. Okay. Now, I am using my little Peekaboo Forest critter, the raccoon. And you can see when you die cut him, he has like an extension of his body and his little hands come up. So I'm just going to take a glue dot. You can even use a little bit of glue. And I'm going to pop one on that extension. And we'll do more with these little guys in the future. And then you just put him under his little hands under I'm using a circle. Let's see here. There we go. And then press down and he is stuck to your circle. Now I have him kind of off to the side here looking down. So I'm going to put him right there. And let's pop him up. Now, because we're going to pop him up, we're not going to put a dimensional here, but we're going to put some just on the top. So I'm going to come in over here and just trim a few of these. So if I cut these, I can get his little ears. And then I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on the bottom portion of the circle. And let's put one in the middle. And that should be good enough to hold them in place. So I'm just going to take these off. Now, if you're not worried about the little raccoon coming off the back, you can put a dimensional right there where it joins your shape, and it'll be added securely. I'm going to move this over a little bit, and then we can add some gems to that. For the inside, I just added 2 instead of 3 strips. The strips coming off a little bit. And so that it didn't take away from your room to write. Most of you that watch me know I rarely put my sentiments on the inside until I'm ready to send my cards, just so I know to whom I'm sending and if I want to write a personalized greeting versus stamping a sentiment. So here is our little guy, and we can add some gems or even a bow to him. So let me show you the other 2 cards. This is using the Impressions Abloom, and look how I turned it around. I actually kept my bottom over to the side, but I moved my strips down to the bottom, and then I used my sentiment just to come off the. So turn these around and look at them and see how else you can use them. So that's this one. And then this one is exactly like how the template is with the sentiment. And this one is using the pretty florals. So let me bring you back to me. First, let me bring all of these in, because we now have 9 cards, 3 templates, and there's another set of them here somewhere. Here they are, hiding under my desk. So beautiful new stamp sets and bundles coming out, easy designs. So let me bring it back to me. So I really hope you enjoyed this. I love doing this every month with you. It's just such an easy way for some inspiration. If you enjoyed tonight's video, please consider giving me a thumbs up. It does help me grow my channel. I'm so glad you joined me. I love being here with you. And feel free to share the video. I will be back with you next Tuesday evening for some more stamping fun and some more new stamps for sneak peeks of stamps and bundles coming out of that new catalog. Hope you have a wonderful week. Stay safe and well. Have some fun creating, and I'll see you soon.